Domain authority and its impact on B2B lead flow. Why domain authority shows up in your pipeline, even if you never look at it. B2B buyers have changed how they buy. They research first, shortlist second, and talk to sales last. When roughly 80% of the buying journey happens without vendor contact, and about 94% of buyers research online before reaching out, your website's visibility becomes a gatekeeper for whether you're even considered. That's why domain authority, or DA, matters for lead flow. DA is not an SEO thing, sitting on the side of the business. It's a practical proxy for whether your brand shows up and looks credible during the self-directed research phase that now defines modern B2B buying. If your domain rarely appears for high-intent searches, your SDRs and AEs are forced to create trust from scratch on every touch. If you do show up, your outreach feels warmer because prospects can validate you quickly, see proof, and recognize your brand name before they ever reply. What domain authority is and what it isn't. Domain authority is a 0 to 100 comparative score created by Moz that predicts how likely a domain is to rank relative to other sites. Similar authority metrics exist across platforms, like Ahrefs' domain rating and SEMrush's authority score, and they generally reflect the same reality: the strength and credibility of your backlink profile and the site's overall ability to compete in organic search. Google does not use Moz's DA as a direct ranking factor, so DA should never be treated as the KPI. But DA correlates with signals Google does care about, especially the quantity and quality of referring domains. So improving the fundamentals that raise authority typically improves rankings, traffic, and inbound demand over time. One important clarification for B2B teams running outbound: SEO domain authority is completely different from email domain reputation. You can have a strong DA and still struggle with deliverability if your sending practices are poor, and you can have clean email reputation while your website remains invisible in search. Managing both is critical when you rely on a cold email agency, an outsourced sales team, or internal SDR motion. How authority turns into leads: visibility, trust, and conversion efficiency. Organic search still drives a massive share of discovery, with roughly 53% of all website traffic coming from organic search and about 64.1% of traffic to B2B sites attributed to organic. In practical terms, that means your authority profile often determines whether your future customers find you at the exact moment they're searching for a solution. Authority matters because page 1 visibility is where decisions get made. Only about 0.44% of users click through to page 2 of Google results, so "we rank, just not on page 1" usually translates to "we're not part of the evaluation." DA doesn't guarantee page 1 rankings, but low authority makes page 1 competitiveness dramatically harder, especially for commercial and comparison queries. The downstream impact shows up in conversion efficiency. Organic/SEO leads have been reported at roughly 14.6% close rate compared to 1.7% for outbound leads, which helps explain why stronger authority tends to reduce the cost of pipeline over time while making every sales touch more productive. Benchmarks that actually help. Compare to the SERP, not the internet. There is no universal good DA because it's a comparative score. Broadly, many marketers treat 50 to 60 as strong and 60 plus as excellent. But what matters is how you stack up against the domains already ranking for the keywords tied to revenue, your money terms, like software, pricing, alternatives, and industry-specific queries. A practical diagnostic is simple. Pull the top-ranking domains for your priority keyword clusters and compare 1. Their authority metrics, and 2. Their referring domains to yours. If you're significantly behind, your path to page 1 visibility will usually require a focused authority plan. If you're close, your bottleneck is often content depth, intent alignment, or conversion rate optimization rather than needing more links. Use DA ranges as a directional guide, not a scoreboard. The goal isn't to hit a number, it's to earn enough authority in your category that your best pages can consistently compete on page 1, where the clicks and therefore the inbound conversations actually happen. Domain authority isn't the goal. Being discoverable when prospects are actively researching is the goal, and authority is often the difference between page 1 and invisibility. The levers that move authority without risking your brand. Authority is largely link-driven, and the data backs up what most SEO practitioners see in the wild. In a large analysis of millions of search results, the #1 ranking page had about 3.8 times more backlinks than positions 2 to 10. The takeaway for B2B teams is not get any links, but earn the kind of links that signal real-world credibility. Start with a balanced foundation. Technical SEO that makes your site easy to crawl and fast to load, content that targets real buyer intent, not generic blog filler, and legitimate link earning through editorial mentions, partner marketing, digital PR, and assets your market actually references. When those pieces work together, DA tends to rise as a byproduct of building a stronger web footprint. It's also important to set expectations with leadership. Case studies regularly show meaningful lifts when authority and referring domains climb. For example, one documented scenario saw a 347% organic traffic increase over 12 months as DA moved from 32 to 48. Your exact results will vary, but the pattern is consistent. Durable authority improvements tend to create compounding visibility and lead flow. Common DA mistakes that quietly kill pipeline impact. The first mistake is chasing DA as a vanity metric. If the team celebrates a DA bump but can't explain which keyword clusters improved, which pages moved to page 1, and whether organic demo requests increased, the work becomes hard to defend when budgets tighten. We recommend tying authority initiatives to a mapped set of keywords aligned to stages of the funnel, then reporting outcomes in terms of sales leadership actually cares about: qualified conversions, influenced opportunities, and closed won. The second mistake is buying low-quality links to hack authority. Cheap packages might inflate a third-party score briefly, but spammy placements can damage trust, create volatility, and fail to move the rankings that generate revenue. In B2B, the safest route is editorial links from relevant publications, credible partner ecosystems, and genuinely useful resources that other sites want to cite. The third mistake is building content that never earns links or rankings, or focusing only on links while ignoring technical SEO. If your site is slow, hard to crawl, and poorly internally linked, you'll get muted returns from new authority. And if your content doesn't solve specific buyer problems, you'll struggle to attract the kinds of mentions that raise both authority and qualified traffic. Turning authority into meetings, aligning SEO with SDR execution. The strongest pipeline results happen when sales and marketing run authority as a shared growth program. Marketing builds visibility and trust through search, and sales operationalizes that credibility in outreach, using high-ranking pages, proof assets, and benchmark content inside cadences so prospects can validate the message instantly. This is where the outbound motion benefits directly. Whether you're working with a B2B sales agency, an SDR agency, or running sales outsourcing internally, higher organic visibility changes the starting point of the conversation. Prospects who have already seen your content are more receptive to B2B cold calling, more likely to reply to a cold email agency's sequences, and faster to accept a meeting because the "who are you" hurdle is smaller. At SalesHive, we see this play out across multi-channel outreach. Cold calling services, cold email, and LinkedIn touches work better when the brand is easy to validate and your best pages rank for the questions buyers are already asking. The practical move is to build SDR plays around the same pages you're trying to rank, so inbound and outbound reinforce each other instead of living in separate dashboards. What changes in 2025? AI overviews, zero-click behavior, and the next steps. AI-driven search experiences and zero-click results are changing how informational queries behave, but they don't eliminate the value of authority. In many categories, authority is increasingly what determines whose content gets surfaced, summarized, or cited, which means strong domains may capture a larger share of the remaining high-intent clicks and brand exposure. The smart approach is diversification, not abandonment. Build authority so you can compete for commercial and comparison intent, and in parallel, strengthen distribution channels you control: email, partner co-marketing, and targeted outbound, so your pipeline doesn't rely on a single source of traffic. This balance is especially important if you're investing in outsourced sales motions, pay-per-appointment lead generation, or scaling a cold calling team, because authority can reduce friction across every channel. Operationally, plan on a 3 to 6 month window for noticeable ranking movement from consistent content and link earning, and 6 to 12 months to see the full pipeline signal. The best next step is a simple audit. Identify the keyword clusters tied to revenue, compare your authority to the domains already ranking, then run a focused plan that improves technical health, publishes link-worthy assets, and earns legitimate links, while your SDR and outbound sales agency motion uses those same assets to convert demand into meetings.